Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. Happy New Year to you. So what's the rule on that? How long can you say Happy New Year into the month of January? So there's a rule, I'm sure. There has to be. Right? All of January? That seems excessive. Anyway, so we're just gonna fly in the face of convention and just continue to say Happy New Year today. Good point. First meeting of the year. Okay. Well, there is no director's report, so I'm gonna. Christina reminds me that we have a new portal for public comment that is compliant with AB 434. And it is available for those who are watching online. You're able to submit your reports, and we're hoping that this will better facilitate public interaction and public communication. Perhaps I don't think we have a presentation on it today, but maybe at our next one we can kind of lay that out a little bit, just to let people know how it works. It's intended to facilitate communication from the public into the public meeting. It's also going to link to various topic areas that are in there and help get that information to the right people. With that, I'll open it up to any public comment here in the room. If anybody wants to speak on an item that is not currently on the agenda, now is your opportunity to do so. Very good. Seeing none, we will move into our action items.
All right. Yeah, the first one, right?
Yeah.
Is
go right ahead,
the consideration of the California Paint Stewardship Program's Year 7 Annual Report. And in this item, Joyce Thung is going to present staff's analysis and recommendation regarding PaintCare's annual report for their 7th year of the program. And I want to thank the paint team, Joyce, and also Stephanie Edwards for their hard work analyzing this lengthy report.
I think that's good.
So thank you, Joyce.
Thank you, Matt. Good morning, everyone. Okay. PaintCare is a 501c3 nonprofit stewardship organization that operates paint stewardship programs in 9 other states plus Washington, D.C. The law was created to reduce the generation, promote the reuse, and manage the end of life of post-consumer paint in an environmentally sound fashion. Statute did not set any numerical goals. Rather, the law allows a manufacturer or a stewardship organization to establish and revise program goals. PaintCare established 2 convenience goals in its stewardship plan: a distribution goal to establish a permanent collection site within 15 miles of 98.5% of the population, and a density goal to establish an additional site for every 50,000 residents in urbanized areas of the state. At the end of year 7, PaintCare had partnered with 766 collection sites and continued to exceed its distribution goal by providing 98.5% of California's population with access to a drop-off site within 15 miles of their residence. PaintCare also continued to expand convenience in rural counties by increasing the number of drop-off sites from 62 to 66, and by adding the first permanent site in Colusa County. In year 7, PaintCare met its density goal in 66 of 73 regions, and staff will continue to work with PaintCare to ensure that the program offers adequate paint recycling opportunities to all Californians. PaintCare also increased its focus on convenience to businesses that had accumulated over 200 gallons of paint by providing 560 large volume pickups. The number of drop-off sites this year decreased, mainly due to the unexpected closure of all Orchard Supply hardware stores, which yielded a loss of 84 program sites. And in response to this, PaintCare immediately increased its effort to recruit new sites by adding 20 new retail sites, and continues to recuperate these losses. Despite the loss of all Orchard Supply hardware stores statewide, PaintCare had steadily increased the amount of paint recovered each year. And since paint is a type of product that is designed to be fully consumed, PaintCare had originally projected that the collection volume would level off after year 3 of the program, although it wasn't until year 7 that the volume finally started to level off at around 3.9 million gallons. PaintCare continued to make a number of efforts towards source reduction, such as conducting outreach to educate consumers on how to buy the proper amount of paint for projects, and by sharing innovative ideas to use leftover paint. And thus, a lower collection volume may indicate that these source reduction efforts have been effective, or it may indicate that the residents have finally gotten rid of the paint that they had stockpiled prior to the program. In total, 94% of the paint collected by PaintCare in year 7 was either reused, recycled, or used for a purpose other than landfill disposal. The majority of the 3.2 million gallons of latex paint was recycled, and oil-based paint was primarily used as fuel in hazardous waste incinerators or bulked and blended to fuel cement kilns. In year 7, PaintCare recruited 3 additional reuse partners, which led to a slight increase in reuse. This year, PaintCare launched its first grant program, which awarded $100,000. The grant was limited in scope to managing non-recyclable latex paint, and we look forward to hearing more about this in next year's annual report. In year 7, the cost per gallon of paint managed through the program was $8.65, which has decreased for 3 consecutive years. We are concerned with PaintCare's reserve balance, which has increased to over $49 million, or equivalent to 147% of annual expenses. And according to PaintCare's reserves policy, if the reserves fall below 75% or exceed 125% of annual expenses, then PaintCare commits to conducting an evaluation of the program's expenses and revenue to bring the reserve back within target range. Due to the continually increasing reserve balance, staff recommend conditional approval of PaintCare's Year 7 annual report. And within 60 days of the signature of the request for approval, PaintCare is required to submit an evaluation of the program's financing mechanism that explains potential changes in operations, outreach, and/or the program fee structure to bring the reserve balance back within target range. The evaluation should provide more information on the methodology used to develop PaintCare's financial projections, including any underlying assumptions and strategies considered to reduce the reserve balance. And although staff recommend conditional approval, we would really like to emphasize that the program is continuing to perform well in a number of key areas, including offering convenient drop-off opportunities to consumers, educating the public on proper paint management, and reducing local government costs. I'd like to take the time now to thank Jeremy Jones, the West Coast Program Manager, who's here today in the audience, as well as the rest of the PaintCare staff, some of whom are also here today, for taking the time to work with us to ensure that the program is an ongoing success. This concludes my presentation, and I'll turn it back to Matt for any questions and comments. Thank you.
Right, thank you. So we're happy to entertain questions. I don't see any coming in online, but are there any questions or comments on the PaintCare annual report in the room? All right, not seeing any. Thank you for that thorough presentation, Joyce.